Councilwoman Selby,
Present.
Councilman Karakini,
Present.
Supervisor Keating,
Present.
Councilwoman Lukacek,
Present.
Councilwoman Martin.
Absent.
Thank you. And Supervisor Keating, will you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, this evening we have a public hearing, so it's 7:35. We'll move right into the public hearing and we'll conduct the other business after. All right. So the public hearing scheduled for 7:35 reads as follows. Notice is hereby given that the Town Board of the Town of Boston in the County of Erie, State of New York, will meet at Town Hall, 8500 Boston State Road, Boston, New York, on June 16, 2021, at 7:35 p.m. Prevailing time for the purpose of conducting a public hearing in relation to the proposed increase and improvement of water facilities of water districts number 1, 2, and 3. Further labeled as the districts, as described in the map plan report for the Town of Boston. Wool Eater, Crestwood, and Rice Hill tank improvements dated May 2021 and prepared by CPL engineers. CPL, for the record, is Clark Patterson Lee, consisting of improvements to first, the Wool Eater water tank located within Water District number 3, covering and servicing Water District number 3 at an estimated maximum cost of $815,000. Area 2 is Crestwood water tank located in Water District number 3 and servicing Water District number 1 at an estimated maximum cost of $375,000. And Area 3 is Rice Hill water tank located just outside Water District 2 extension and servicing Water District 2 extension and Water District number 2 at an estimated maximum cost of $635,000. The current approved total estimated maximum cost of the project is $1,825,000, which is proposed to be financed through the issuance of bonds by the Town of Boston on behalf of the districts, payable by levy and collections of assessments on real property in the districts. Therefore, the project cost burden is expected to be borne by the district's property owners throughout the expected term of the bonds. However, the bonds shall be issued, However, the bonds to be issued shall be general obligation bonds of the Town of Boston, and in the event of the amount of the assessments collected within the districts is insufficient to pay the cost of the project and/or the debt service related to the project, such costs or debt service shall be paid from the general town taxes. Each of the districts are provided by the Erie County Water Authority, which is also known as ECWA, and the water system is at least managed by the ECWA through the agreement with the town. Further details concerning the proposed increase and improvements of the facilities and the estimated costs thereof are set forth in the above-mentioned map plan and report, which is available online to review at www.townofboston.com. By order of the Town Board of the Town of Boston, which was dated on May 19th, 2021, Boston, New York, Sandra Quinlan, Town Clerk. I will open up the floor for public comment. Anyone who would like to make a comment, please go up to the microphone, state your name, and the floor is open.
Yeah, thanks. I've only addressed this committee once, and you answered me very nicely 30 years ago when our road on Ensor Road was really falling apart. And now, thanks to Bob Tilak, we have a nice road. But I heard about this meeting just 20 minutes ago, only 20 minutes before the meeting was supposed to be held. And I'm a little bit upset about that because I think, and I've talked to somebody, I guess I should go online about this. I didn't know where to go. Now I do know that some way this never gets out to people out in the public. I'm on Ensor Road. I've lived here for over 30 years. My wife and I, we've raised a family here. And I never hear about these meetings until the last minute. And I know there was a referendum years back about whether we should have sewers and we should have water supply out to where we are. In 35 years, I haven't had any problems with my well or my sewer, okay? And I'd like to know, I'm not sure, maybe I'm speaking out of turn, that since nobody else is coming to the microphone, I decided to do that. I'd like to know whether this concerns me as a taxpayer and as a property owner or whether I'm going to be now obliged to sign up for public water supply and sewers and whatnot, and I live a quarter mile off the road, and it's bothersome. I'm retired now, I just retired a few months ago, and I'm concerned about finances. I don't want to have a huge impact on my finances. I already pay over $10,000 in taxes a year, and I'm worried about that. And I don't know how this, if there's some way, now that I'm going to be tuned in, I'm going to get my my internet up, my computer now that is overburdened with other things. This is something I'm going to pay attention to. So will this impact me as a taxpayer on 4786 Enzer Road in this town? And if so, how much? And why should I be asking for water from the city when I already have lots of water and a perfectly good sewer system for 35 years? Thank you.
You're welcome.
Sir, could I have your name for the minutes, please?
Sir?
I'm sorry?
They need your name.
My name is Richard Bankert.
Thank you.
Yeah. And, I'd like to hear from people that need this. If there are people on my block that need this, I'd be more wanting to know this. But quite frankly, the only thing that I've been told is that there are people here in Boston that have property out there, that their property values will go up, and perhaps they have a vested interest in that, which I'm not terribly in support of. I would be in support if I hear neighbors that are saying, well, I've had trouble. And I've heard that rumors, but I don't have it specifically. In fact, there's one person in the room that told me in the past that they've had possible problems with service of water. And if that's the case, then I'd be, I guess as a good citizen, I'd be worried about that. But I'm not worried about tax people who just have property values out in the area there, and that those property values will understandably go up if you have city water.
Certainly. I'll be happy to answer, that question at the end of the meeting. Happy to explain it to you.
At the end of the meeting, okay.
Yeah. I know there's some other people here, but happy to have that conversation with you.
Where?
At the end of the meeting, at the end of the town board meeting, I'll be happy to let you know. If you don't mind saying, or you can call my office tomorrow, and I can talk to you tomorrow. That's fine too.
Good evening. Can
Hello.
you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Carol Ann Zamuda, Enzer Road. That's where I'm here as well. Dick, I understand what you're saying, but I'm on a well. And 2 years, I've lived on Enzer Road for 20 years. 2 years after we moved in, the well went dry. I had to put another well in. So I want city water. And I'll do anything to get it. But I'm not willing to wait anymore because I've got the letters that I received 7 years ago when I was here at that meeting, and nothing's been done to get us water. So that's what I'm looking to accomplish, and I'll do whatever it is I need to do to get water on my road, because that's what I'm interested in, and there are other residents on the street. We all are looking for water. People's wells go dry. You guys know how it works. When it's a dry summer, everyone's, clamoring for water. You either have to bring it in or whatever. So that's my reason why I'm here tonight, my husband as well, and other neighbors. We are interested in water. I don't know what it's gonna take to get it, but I'm really not willing to wait much longer. I want the water, so we need to move forward. And I know you've got equipment that has to be fixed, and I know monies are allocated for that, but we all pay taxes, and that money needs to be allocated towards water. I mean, as it is, we don't have streetlights, we don't have sewers, we don't have sidewalks, we don't have any of that. We live in the country. But, it's not very far away that there is water unfettered. People have water around us, and that's what, we would really like to have water. So whatever it's gonna take to get to that point, I'm willing to work to get to that point.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ma'am, how many people do you know in your street that are interested in water? Just curious.
There's not many of us on the street. How many? 13 people? About 13 houses. I'm gonna tell you about
13?
Everyone wants the water.
And how long does that stretch of road? How many miles?
Oh, no, it's not miles. For a short street, yeah.
That's really short.
Yeah, between where Hague is and then there's
approximately a mile.
Hague and Fett. So, and I mean, the well goes dry. I mean, it's, there's people on our street that have children. It was a big fight to get the internet, and finally that came through. And now it's gonna be a big fight to get water, but that's what we're looking for. in my house, when I have company, everyone's limited to how
Right.
long their shower is, and I can't run the washer, and I can't run, you know, the dishwasher and a shower at the same time. I'm gonna run out of water, so.
Man, yeah, one quick thing
Sure.
I do want to add for you. I'm happy to have that conversation with you as well. All of us here at the board, we have the water maps. I don't know if you've seen it yet, but on the town website, there is a link out there for the water projects. If you haven't already, I haven't looked recently, but if you haven't already added your name that you're interested in water, please fill that out, because that is part of that is absolutely part of the discussions. To extend water, to answer your question, it's not the town board's decision to say yes or no, it's essentially, as you stated, you're a taxpayer. So if you're saying you want water, and we reach out to the engineer, we say, okay, this is what it's gonna cost, hypothetically, I don't know, until we follow up with the engineer, but if we need a pumping station, and then we need water, for an example, pumping station's a ballpark of, let's say, $500,000. Water, at least what we're looking at currently for the repairs, new water lines in is running about, engineering in the ground done is about $240 a linear foot. So then basically you take out, that total dollar amount, break that out to the parcels over how many years that debt service is being carried out, and that starts to break down what each parcel owner is gonna pay. And essentially it's really it's a thumbs up or thumbs down conversation. No, I'm not gonna pay this, it's too much, or yes, this is palatable, I'm willing to bring in water to my area. The more residents that you have, of course, that brings that down to your, think of it like a pie diagram, you start chopping that up, you start dividing that overall cost out. So once we start to put together those numbers and bigger picture, that's just really what it boils down to, and then it's the board's, job to put that together and make that happen for you, if that's how it moves forward. But I have had a couple, I'd have to look at my notes downstairs, but I have had a couple of conversations with all the residents in your areas. I don't know if they reached out to you, but they asked, how do we keep this cost low? I said, talk to your neighbors, because if you do want water, the more people that are on board with this, that's where you're gonna start to bring that overall cost per parcel down. So, there's a couple different ways of looking at that, but like I said, we have to show you the maps, give you an idea like where it's capped off. We can certainly have those conversations. Absolutely.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Can I make a comment on this?
Sure.
I've been here for a while, and I've seen all this happen 5 to 7 years ago, when we talked about getting water up on that end of town, and they did the whole study, and the pump station wasn't big enough at Keller Road, the water tower isn't tall enough on Zimmerman Road, and the cost to do it was just astronomical. Rich, you were probably around when that happened.
I was.
And I don't know how many years you lived there, but they did all that, signing the paperwork and trying to get people to do it, but it just cost so much, and then it all went away. And I believe they don't pay their water thing on their taxes anymore like they used to, right? Didn't they say that they're never gonna get water, and they took that off their tax bill?
I don't believe they're in any water district.
No.
They took them off. They were in the water district years ago, though, correct?
I don't know if that specific area
I don't
was.
believe.
Yeah, so I don't know, they went through all that years ago.
We still pay for water
Yeah.
on my, 100%. There's a lot of things I'd like to tick off on my taxes
Yeah.
that I don't get.
Well, I thought they lowered them some, but they did a study on all that years ago. They engineered it and the cost, and then the people voted it down or just never happened.
That's exactly what I said, exactly. So, right, so we do essentially that engineering study, identify what it would cost, and then really, again, it's the property owners that would let us know if it's a feasible cost. I'm not gonna put any particular residence, in the area on, I guess I'll say, for the sake of the public hearing. If there's an area that the residents wanted water, and needed a pump station, and we needed 3,800 feet of water line to serve the entire area. There's only 14 parcels in this area, a relatively dead-end street with a $1.6 million project, and this is going to be very expensive, and most, like the highway superintendent stated.
And at that time,
The residents said it was too much money.
they were only gonna do Rockwood Road, Sherrill Road, and Feddick Road up to Zenner, I believe, at that time, so you still weren't in that time, so, you can do the study, but it doesn't look good. I mean,
It's not fair.
I agree, but,
I would
There's not
say-
enough of us, that's the problem. There's
Yeah.
not enough of us on the street or the surrounding streets, but that's not fair.
and it's so spread out going up Feddick Road from Zenner all the way up, there's not many homes, and it makes the cost very high. So,
We
I
all
mean,
like
the engineer would have to
money.
do the study again and do this.
Now, there's a lot of options that, that can be explored, again, depending on interest. Truthfully, that depends on interest, right? I mean, really, that's the core component here, is depending on interest. there could be what they call district overlays. There's a lot of other mechanisms. This is not just a cut and dry, this is how it is and how to move forward. There's different avenues that can be explored. So that's why I said it's just a matter of identifying the need or the want from the taxpayer or the parcel owners. And then from there, taking that data collectively back, trying to do that engineering study like Mr. Dillek was saying, and determine, is this what the taxpayers want? And on the flip side of the coin, you have residents that say, I have wonderful well water, I don't want a water bill. So that's the other side of the equation, not trying to say one way or the other, just that those are the two sides of the conversation that have been coming up recently, on top of all the water and current existing public water that needs extensive repairs. So,
Bob, it appears Ensor Road is in Water District 2 Extension.
all of Ensor?
All of Ensor.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, with no further comment, at about 7:50, I will close the floor for the public hearing. All right, moving on to our regular business for tonight, which is item number 2 under the agenda. We have the correction and adoption of minutes from the May 19th, 2021 town board meeting. And Councilwoman Lukacek, would you mind taking those items tonight?
Mr. Supervisor, I've had a chance to review the minutes from May 19th, 2021, and I make no edits or changes. I make a motion that we approve the minutes from May 19th, 2021.
A second?
Councilwoman Selby,
Yes.
Councilman Karakini,
Yes.
Supervisor Keating,
Yes.
Councilwoman Lukacek,
Yes.
motion carried.
All right, item number 2 under regular business is the consideration of all fund bills. And Councilwoman Sully, do you mind taking that item tonight?
Yes, after reviewing the abstract of bills, I would like to make a motion to make payment of $214,387.69.
I will second.
Councilwoman Selby,
Yes.
Councilman Karakini,
Yes.
Supervisor Keating,
Yes.
Councilwoman Lukacek,
Yes.
motion carried.
All right, moving along, item number 3, we have one piece of correspondence tonight. Sadly, we've received a letter of resignation for Robert Gainey from the Board of Assessment Review. That has been received and filed with the town clerk's office. Moving along to new business, we have requests from the floor. I know we just had the public hearing, but I will open up the floor again for any other further public comment outside of the water districts, or if you'd like to speak to water districts, you may. So please, if you'd like to say something, please come up to the microphone, state your name and address, and you have 3 minutes.
Jay Jackson, 7964 Back Creek Road. I appreciate the updates from Legislator Mills on the repair of Back Creek Road. It is unfortunate that agreements cannot be made so far between residents down there and the highway department. That is apparently the problem. If there is anything that you can add during your moment, Supervisor Keating, later on, I'd be grateful.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yep, you're welcome. Okay, I guess we don't have any other further comments for tonight, so we'll move right along. All right. And then again, item number 2 was the public hearing for tonight, so we'll move on to item number 3, which is resolution 2021-34, which is a bond resolution in order after public hearing to increase the improvement of facilities for water districts number 1, 2, and 3 in the town of Boston in the county of Erie, New York. And Councilman Carnegie, you mind taking that out? I have it, I want to get it.
38 in front of 36, so.
It is right in the packet of the public hearing notice.
I have 35. Right? So now 40. Right.
Forgive me, it's not in the order I normally get it in. So, at this time, I'd like to make a motion that we pass resolution 2021-34, whereas the town of Boston in Erie County of New York, on behalf of Water District 1, 2, and 3, has caused engineers duly licensed in the state of New York to prepare, map, plan, and report for the town of Boston, Woolheater, Crestwood, and Rice Hill tank improvements dated May 2021. Do you want to read this entire thing?
Yeah. I would just like to read the,
All right, essentially what this resolution does is it authorizes the money that we're gonna spend to bond the money. So at this time, I'd like to make a motion that we adopt resolution 2021-34.
I'll second.
Councilwoman Selby,
Yes.
Councilman Karakini,
Yes.
Supervisor Keating,
Yes.
Councilwoman Lukajik.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay. Item number 4 tonight is resolution 2021-35, which is authorizing the issuance of bonds for the water districts number 1, 2, and 3. Again, this is the bond component here. This is for a total of $1,825,000. And I'll take this item tonight over here. The bond resolution 21-2035 is for the town of Boston, New York, adopted June 16, 2021, which is appropriating $1,825,000 for the cost of an increase and improvement of facilities of water districts number 1, 2, and 3, and authorizing the issuance of bonds of said town in the principal amount of $1,825,000 to finance this said appropriation. I'd like to make that a motion to approve resolution 2021-35.
I'll second.
Councilwoman Selby,
Yes.
Councilman Karakini,
Yes.
Supervisor Keating,
Yes.
Councilwoman Lukajik.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, item number 5 is resolution 2021-36, authorizing the corporate agreement with the Erie County Water Authority for the water tank refurbishment, which is the purpose of the bond resolutions that were passed this evening. And Councilwoman Sully, would you mind taking that tonight?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to approve resolution 2021-36, authorizing the attached agreement with Erie County Water Authority for the tanks refurbishment.
I'll second.
Councilwoman Selby,
Yes.
Councilman Karakini,
Yes.
Supervisor Keating,
Yes.
Councilwoman Lukajik.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, item number 6 tonight is resolution 2021-37, authorizing the purchase of a Towmaster Model T as in Tom -12 DT drop deck tilt trailer for highway department use. Councilwoman Lukajik, let's take that item tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Because of a purchase of another highway piece of equipment that was needed, we now need a trailer for that piece of equipment, and we have identified the Towmaster Model T-12 DT drop deck tilt trailer for our highway department. We are using a piggybacking law that helps us gain it for better cost. So I make a motion that we approve resolution number 2021-37 for the cost of $10,201.20. Okay, I make a motion that we approve resolution 2021-37.
I'll second.
Should that be stated, what fund it was coming from?
Yes, I was just going to add that, yeah, no, it's okay. So the funding where, that we spoke with the highway superintendent downstairs, and the funding would be coming from the highway CHIPS funds.
Councilwoman Selby?
Yes.
Councilman Cartini?
Yes.
Supervisor Keating?
Yes.
Councilwoman Lukashev?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay. Item number 7 is Resolution 2021-38, which is authorizing procurement of the Independence Day celebration fireworks display. I'm happy to take this one because I've received a lot of phone calls. I'm happy to say with the governor lifting a lot of the current guidance that is out there, the town will be having a fireworks display this year, thank goodness. So without further ado, I'd like to make a motion to approve Resolution 2021-38 for authorizing the procurement of Independence Day celebration fireworks, which is handled through Skylighters of New York, which is the same entity that has provided fireworks for the town for many years now. The total amount is the standard budget amount of $10,000, and I'd like to make that motion.
I'll second.
Councilwoman Selby?
Yes.
Councilman Cartini?
Absolutely, yes.
Supervisor Keating?
Yes.
Councilwoman Lukashev?
Yes.
Motion carried.
All right. Item number 8 is application for live entertainment license at Cousins. And Councilman Cartini, would you like to take that item tonight?
Yes, so we have an application for live entertainment. This is at Cousins at 7115 Boston State Road. They have a liquor license for beer, wine, and liquor. There are no limitations, and they are looking to have amplified and acoustic bands Thursday through Saturday, 7 p.m. to 2 a.m. The business is not connected with any other business at the same location. I make a motion that we approve this application for live entertainment. Great to see it coming through.
I'll second.
Okay, there was a term on that also? Was that with the paperwork?
The term?
To expire on June 30th.
Yes, on the back side with the check, it expires on June 30th, 2023.
Thank you.
The current license expires on June 30th, 2021.
That's correct.
If I can ask, so the previous license does say that it goes till 2 a.m.?
Their previous license that would go until June 30th of this year is completely separate from this license.
Right, but did that one go till 2 a.m.?
I don't know, I don't have that in front of me, the one at hand is this
Have
one.
we had any correspondence from the neighbors having issues with this? Okay, I don't remember anything being brought up, but
Not that I know of, that would be something you
Yep.
have to talk to.
Okay. Supervisor's office received anything? Okay, thank you.
Well,
Who seconded that motion?
I second.
Thank you. Councilwoman Selby?
Yes.
Councilman Cartini?
Yes.
Supervisor Keating?
Yes.
Councilwoman Lukashev?
Yes.
Motion carried.
All right. Item number 9 is another application for a use facility from Renee Moran. And Councilwoman Lukashev, would you mind taking that item tonight?
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. This is for a birthday party. Renee Moran had requested the Lions Shelter with bathroom facilities for August 28th, 2021, for about 10 a.m. for setup and 1 to 4. Ms. Clerk, is there availability for this shelter?
Yes, the date is available.
Thank you very much. So there's no parade, no parking issues, fireworks, vendor kind of issues. It is a private party. I make a motion that we approve Ms. Moran's application for the Lion Shelter.
I'll second.
Councilwoman Selby?
Yes.
Councilman Cartini?
Yes.
Supervisor Keating?
Yes.
Councilwoman Lukashev?
Yes.
Motion carried.
All right, moving right along, item number 10, application for a use of town meeting facility from our Boston Senior Group. Councilwoman Selby, would you like to take that item tonight?
Yes, I'd like to take both of the senior groups. as
Sure,
long as I got
absolutely.
here. So there's
Absolutely.
2 senior groups in Boston. The first one is the Boston Seniors, And they're requesting the community room the first and third Fridays of the month at 1 p.m. The second group is the Boston Young at Heart, and they're requesting the room, the community room as well, on the second and fourth Fridays at 1 p.m. as well. I'd like to make a motion to approve these two applications for our senior groups.
I'll second.
Councilwoman Selby?
Yes.
Councilman Carter-Keeney?
Yes.
Supervisor Keating?
Yes.
Councilwoman Lukascik?
Yes.
Motion carried.
All right, so that was numbers 10 and 11. Item number 12 is application for use facility. Can you tell the guidance has been with it? For the St. Martin's Lutheran Church. And Councilman Carter-Keating, would you like to take that item?
Thank you, Supervisor Keating. St. Martin's Lutheran Church would like to use the Lions Shelter. The date is August 15th from 9 a.m. until 3 p.m. for their church picnic. Madam Clerk, is the space available?
Yes, it is.
Thank you. They are not serving alcohol. It is a private party. It is not a public event. I make a motion that we accept this application for use of facility.
Okay. And Councilman Carter-Keeney, I should have let you know that I actually should say this before I give it to you. The town clerk had notified me. I'd like to just amend your motion, just that no payment has been received on this yet, so I personally don't have an issue approving this, but it'll be formally approved once the upon payment received.
I'll second contingent on receipt of the payment.
Councilwoman Selby?
Yes.
Councilman Carter-Keeney?
Yes.
Supervisor Keating?
Yes.
Councilwoman Lukascik?
Yes.
Motion carried.
All right, item number 13 is a Town of Boston fill permit application. Actually, speaking with our highway superintendent downstairs, there's a couple of amendments we're going to make to the fill permit application. So I'm going to table that item for tonight. And then, so we'll move on to, actually, I have to make a motion on that one. So I'd like to make a motion to table the Boston fill permit application for our next meeting.
I'll second.
Councilwoman Selby?
Yes.
Councilman Carter-Keeney?
Yes.
Supervisor Keating?
Yes.
Councilwoman Lukascik?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay. Item number 14 is a request from the Zoning Board of Appeals to appoint Dave May as a regular member. And Councilwoman Lukascik, would you like to take that item?
Yes, sir, and I will also take David Potapos.
All right.
The zoning board of appeals have met with Dave May, and they are unanimous for a recommendation to the town board for his full voting member appointment. His term would end April 1st, 2026. I make a motion that we approve Dave May's appointment to the zoning board.
I second.
Councilwoman Selby?
Yes.
Councilman Carter-Keeney?
Yes.
Supervisor Keating?
Yes.
Councilwoman Lukascik?
Yes.
Motion carried.
The next zoning board has also met and interviewed with Dave Potempo. They are unanimous voting for recommendation to the town board that this person is the alternate, since they have no more full voting member positions, but we do have alternates available. And this, they would like Mr. Potempo to be an alternate member. I make a motion that we approve the zoning board's request.
I will second.
I also want to note that the term will end 12/31/2023.
Councilwoman Selby?
Yes.
Councilman Carter-Keeney?
Yes.
Supervisor Keating?
Yes.
Councilwoman Lukascik?
Yes, thank you.
Motion carried.
All right, so we do have one item under old business from our past meeting, which is, the first item is to amend the 2021 284 highway agreement. I'd like to make a motion to approve and amend the 284 agreement submitted by the town highway superintendent.
I second.
Councilwoman Selby?
Yes.
Councilman Carter-Keeney?
Yes.
Supervisor Keating?
Yes.
Councilwoman Lukascik?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, we have no other agenda items tonight, so we'll move right on to reports and presentations, and highway superintendent, you have the floor.
Yes, thank you. Over the last few weeks, the highway department, we've been oil and stone and roads. We did approximately 25 roads so far this year. We got more to do. Most every one of the roads have been swept up since we've done that. And, other than that, down on Apple Tree Road, it's one of our roads with a cul-de-sac at the end, and it's a fairly large cul-de-sac, and there's like 23 dead trees inside that cul-de-sac. They're all ash trees that have died, and I don't know if the town board wants to get prices on getting those cut down. It's way too much work for the park workers to do, so I just thought I'd ask that. And then I'd just like to ask the board a little bit of clarification on that resolution tonight for the water towers. That was just for repairing the water towers, correct?
That's correct.
That was nothing to do with extensions as far as extending the water, correct?
No, that's correct.
So are these people that don't have water gonna have to pay more in their taxes because of these water towers that are never
No,
getting water?
No, they're paying a flat fee to be, they're charged to be part of the water district.
But the rest of the people in that district, like myself, will have an increase in ours, correct?
That's correct.
That's how it's gonna work, but it's not for any extensions.
That is
It's
correct.
not.
That is correct.
That's what I thought. But that's all I have tonight.
Problem.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Councilwoman Sullivan, you have the floor.
Thank you,
You're welcome.
Supervisor Keating. I just wanted to bring everybody aware that there was some concern about the speeding of the traffic cars on Back Creek Road in front of the school, Boston Valley School. We've been in touch with Erie County in this regard, and the school was contemplating reduction of the speed in front of the school. But to do that, the whole entire Back Creek would have to be lowered, and thankfully, the school didn't want to go down that road. So we're gonna keep everything status quo, but the county has agreed to put updated signs for the school zone to hopefully be more aware of, keeping that, with the weather being nice, or keeping the speed down. Hopefully, at some point, we're gonna have an agreement with Erie County to get some lettering on the road, school zone, and, we look forward to keeping the kids safe in that area, even though, it's a little far off the road, but the kids are all over the place, so with the nice weather, we have to be more be conscious of that. So, besides that, I'm happy to hear about the fireworks and the groups getting together, so that's a good sign. Hopefully, everybody stays safe and we can have a good summer going forward. So, that's all I have to say.
All right, thank you very much. And Councilman Carrasini, you have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Supervisor Keating. I would like to just give everybody a heads up. If I seem a little off today, I am. I've got son poisoning, and tonight with the public hearing was not the meeting to miss. I felt it was important. It's probably the most important meeting that I've, had in the 3.5 years that I've been here. So if I seem off, it's because I'm not 100%. I don't feel good. So just want to let people have the benefit of that information. It's with very sad feelings that I need to recognize the loss of Tom Kyle, who was the longest serving member of the North Boston Fire Company. I had the distinct honor of presenting him with a Lifetime Achievement Award a few short years ago, and I'm waiting for information on what will be done to recognize his life and his contribution. He was a lifelong resident of the town of Boston, born and bred, never left, and he led an exemplary life in service to his community, his fellow firefighters, and his neighbors and friends. So I was really bummed to hear about that. And I saw that the new sign at the Patchen Fire Company really looks great. The green space that they added out front, it brightens it up, and it was kind of almost industrial. It's really looking nice. It blends in quite well, and it was nice to see that after so many challenges, getting that in place, it's finally completed and looks pretty good. That's all I have tonight.
All right, yes, thank you very much. And Councilwoman Lukacek, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. First, congratulations, new zoning board member. Woo! No, it's really great to see that we've got some movement, with the community, with the COVID protocols kind of being lifted, and we can see people face to face. And now we get an increase of participation in our boards that really run the town. Our planning, zoning, and conservation advisory, we we really need them and the folks that participate in them. So, thank you for your interest, and I look forward to working with you in the future. I do want to talk briefly about the water project. So, this is just me, my 2 cents. I purchased property, my husband, before we were married, purchased property in the town of Boston, knowing that there was no water, hoping that there will be water someday, but I'm not planning on it. And we did have to drill a well within the first month after we gave birth. I gave birth, he just watched football, but whatever. But, so yeah, we had to drill a new well. So far, it's working well. Again, I'm hoping, I want to stay there in that property forever. And our little 11-year-old boy wants to purchase it from us for $1. And he's got that in an envelope already. I don't know where he thinks we're going, but he wants the property. So I'm hoping that the well lasts. But with that being said, we had reached out to our neighbors at one point to see, hey, do you want gas? Do you want water? What can we do? So we got gas, but the next venture would be water. But pumping it where I'm at on Zimmerman uphill is astronomical. I don't know if it'd be easier from the Enzer since you're lower down, right? It wouldn't hurt to, venture again and see what can happen. But the Erie County Water will be help, and then the town would help initiate the projects. So, thank you for your interest in that website, right? For the signing up as interested, the more the merrier, right? Okay, I'm sorry you're not feeling well, Mike, but it's good to see your face anyways. That's all I have, thank you.
All right. Madam Clerk, you have the floor.
Thank you, Supervisor Keating. Board of Elections, so we are in the process of early voting. The Boston Town Hall Community Room is a polling location. The primary election runs from June 12th through June 20th. Weekdays, you may vote between the hours of noon till 9 p.m. and weekends 12 noon till 6 p.m. There is no voting, however, the day before Election Day. So you have these 10 days to vote, no voting the day before Election Day, and then of course, all of our regular polling locations will be open on Election Day, primary day. Saturday, June 19th is going to be a busy day here in Boston. The Brinkerhoff race that kicks off at 9 a.m. This year, what we found out from Mike is because everyone cannot race together, the race will be staggered, but it's also starting earlier. It's starting at 9 a.m. And also that day is St. John the Baptist Roman Catholic Church will be hosting the Flea and Farmers Market on Saturday, June 19th from 8 a.m. until 2 p.m. The Boston Lions Club will be holding their annual Father's Day chicken barbecue. That is Sunday, June 20th from 3:30 p.m. to 6 p.m. or it's sold out. There are pre-sale tickets for $11 or $13 at the door. There are locations that have those tickets. That's Herb's Barbershop, Three Girls Cafe. Right next to Three Girls is Steve's Barbershop. Or you can contact Lion Ale at 648-5908 or Lion Renee at 553-7069. And summer concerts. I know Supervisor Keating will touch on Town of Boston summer concerts, but the Boston Free Library will be starting their summer concerts on Thursday, June 24th at 6 p.m. The last day to collect taxes in person or in my office is June 30th. Your envelope for that payment can also be postmarked on June 30th. After that date, the unpaid taxes are returned to Erie County Department of Real Property Tax Service. And Sun King Electronic Recycling will be having an event that is July 17th in West Seneca. You do need to call for an appointment. It's an appointment. It's like a ticketing process that they do. So contact Sun King, the number is 585-637-8365. And I wanted to recognize all the hard work that goes into Memorial Day for the grounds. So our property looked, the town of Boston's property looked beautiful. The Parks Department works hard all through the month of May to keep these parks and all the areas around it just cleaned up from the winter and prepared for our summer just beautifully. So it is certainly recognized. There was a new flag that was put up at the David Finger Memorial. The old one still was pretty good, so it was kept. Obviously, we did not have our normal service like we do, but David Shank and Guy Blodgett did come out to have just a very just small service. It was in the rain. That was that rainy Friday before Memorial Day. So they just did their duty that they would do. And Guy and his wife Judy are the ones that make the wreaths that are placed on the stands throughout, at the David Finger Memorial and the Boston Commons and at the cemetery. So I just wanted to recognize him for that, because he does do that for the town for the past several years for no charge. And I wanted to let the board know, and the other secretaries and those that work with Audrey at the Hamburg Sun. That is who we submit our legal notices to, public hearing notices. She is retiring. So this is her last week. She has been an absolute gem. She is wonderful to work with, patient and patient. Yes, she is just so wonderful. She's been great, great to all of us who have ever needed to submit anything to the Hamburg Sun. She was always willing to take the time. She gave us our deadline dates, were very clear when there were holidays. She made sure we knew when they were. But I wish her the best of luck in retirement. And she represented the Sun very well. And they'll have some big shoes they have to fill with replacing her. So I think that is all I have tonight. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, just have a few things to touch base on. Of course, everyone that's here heard firsthand that 4th of July will be resuming, thanks to New York State hitting the 7% vaccination rate and all the guidance restrictions being lifted. So I'm very happy to report that. On the topic, as the town clerk had kind of touched base on briefly, but summer concert series, we're hoping to get those back up. We do have some bands lined up for actually next month, so we should be getting our summer concert series back and going here at the town hall. So we're slowly but surely getting back into our regular routine. The town did offer up a remote COVID clinic. It was actually, to both of our surprise, it was actually fairly well attended. The follow-up visit for those that need a second shot, keep an eye on the town website if anybody has seen that, or either the county website or the town website will have the follow-up visit. The county right now, due to that second shot, here at Boston, we had just about 37 people go through that particular clinic. What they're looking to do is have a more centralized location, because they went to Boston, Springville, and over in Hamburg that one day, and they're going to try to find one location and try to have all those folks go there, so that they have, let's say, 100 or so people show up. That's just something that's still in the works, but that information will be put out to the town website and also on social media as that information comes along. On the 9th, myself and Legislator Mills had the opportunity to go down to Rucker Lumber to celebrate 100 years. Legislator Mills and then also the town of Boston, on behalf of the town board, we presented them a proclamation, and very happy to say, they've made it through a lot in 100 years. Now that I joked with them when they officially made it through a global pandemic, and I wish them another happy 100 years. And it's a women-owned business, and they do very well down there and support our community. So that was a nice honor to be down there and present them with that proclamation along with Legislator Mills. let's see, echoing Councilman Cardicchini, I think again, I never speak for the other board members, but, the loss of Tom Kyle, that I think that's really touched a lot of us here in the community. Just this past January, we acknowledged his 50 years of service to the community. And you want to talk about an individual who gave his all, he's it. And Councilman Cardicchini did a fantastic job explaining it. I won't get into it, because he was just a great human being. So he's a loss to our community, and my heart and prayers go out to everybody at the North Boston company. So on another note, I don't know if anybody happened to hear today, but Mercy Flight flew over the town hall and kind of in the vicinity. Anybody's wondering what happened there? Sadly, there were 2 teenagers. I don't have any details on this, but this is just what I know so far. But there were 2 teenagers that had collided on dirt bikes, and sadly, they were both airlifted to O'Shea. So, and on behalf of the town, our thoughts and prayers are for a speedy recovery for them. I'm hoping they're okay, but sadly, we know when a helicopter is brought in, it's sometimes not a good situation. So, hopefully, they're okay. So that happened. Water projects. The town's gonna be talking about water probably for the foreseeable future, whether it's build out, potential for build out, expansion. There's a lot of, on the town website, we try to put all the information I possibly can out there without completely almost inundating people with information. But you'll see the reports from the Erie County Water Authority that I received when I first came into office as supervisor, almost 4 years ago now. And then also the subsequent document where we worked with the Erie County Water Authority to prioritize high, medium, low priorities, so we can identify, can kind of take a more strategic and targeted approach to what needs the work. The maps I spoke about earlier do show, they're called breakage reports. Some areas, there's no secret to any of this, but there are areas that have 12 and 13 breaks. And so these are the areas that hit that upper level. So we have to fix some of the current infrastructure. It can be completely honest and transparent here. We have to fix some of the current infrastructure before we can really look at expanding. So there's a lot of moving parts going on right now. A lot of that, I trust the municipal engineer team from Clark Patterson Lee to guide us in the right direction to take that strategic approach. When it comes to least managed water districts, I won't beat around the bush here. It kind of becomes a political hot potato because nobody wants to hear about taxes going up. But we can't let infrastructure sit idle, and then at some point you have a resident that has I think it was our first year in office. We had a lateral, what they call a lateral break over on Heinrich. Thank you. Over on Heinrich, 24-inch wide crack. I'll never forget the picture that we saw. The water was just gushing, it was pouring down on top of this person's house. So that's kind of the things that we really need to take some action on and get rectified. So happy to share all the information I have. Again, I don't know if you have some time tonight. I'd be happy to show you the maps downstairs that I have to kind of get an idea in the ballpark, and then we can go from there. But we will be talking about water for quite a while here. Outside of that, that's all I have. So I will make a motion to end the meeting at 8:27 p.m.
Councilwoman Selby?
Yes.
Councilor Cardicchini?
Yes.
Supervisor Keating?
Yes.
Councilwoman Lukasik?
Yes.
Motion carries. Meeting adjourned.